A scale for advanced societies was designed by astrophysicist Nikola Tesla. He created the Kardashev scale in 1964 when looking for evidence of extraterrestrial life, and knew he needed a system to categorize. The Kardashev scale measures a civilization's advancement based on how it harnesses energy, and originally had 3 levels. Type 1 is a planetary civilization that harnesses its planet's power. Type 2 is a stellar civilization, one that harnesses the energy emitted by its star. Type 3 is a galactic civilization that harnesses energy from its entire galaxy. The scale might have originally been designed for alien societies. What if there was a civilization that used Earth's energy for electrical power? That society would be advanced enough to be a Type 1 civilization. Humanity, as it stands now, has yet to achieve Type 1 status, and probably won't for another 100 years or more. Around 12,000 years ago, this society could have ruled the Earth, using technology beyond what we have even developed today. Although it was far ahead of us, there was nothing it could have done to combat a catastrophic global event, other than being a multi-planet species. Humans would have no choice but to start again. Since then, humanity has been replicating the work that previously advanced societies had made, reinventing the wheel, so to speak, and still hasn't caught up to their level. This could be through a possible method/theory of pulling information out of the collective consciousness or Akashic records, where all human thought is stored and recorded, which is a side tangent, so I won't get into it here for the sake of time. But if you want more on that, check out my Tesla video, where I go into it a bit more towards the end of that video. I already did a video about Tesla, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse here, but I will give a tidbit about him in this video that I didn't cover in that video, before we get into the meat and potatoes, which is the pyramid. After his death, his boxes of documents were seized by the FBI, and only a fraction of his notes were sent back to Belgrade, Serbia for museums. If the FBI couldn't find anything valuable in those boxes, why didn't they return all of them? What was Tesla working on that made his findings so dangerous that the FBI wanted to keep? What if Tesla wasn't the first one to come up with inventions of free and clean energy? Could it be that science of a civilization, more advanced than even humanity today, found a way to harness the planet's energy? We're talking about the pyramids, especially the Great Pyramid of Giza. The mystery surrounding how it was built and its true purpose is fascinating. From its shape to its location, whoever planned its location knew enough about the planet to ensure that it was within 11 miles of the polar radius, and that its base was the Earth's circumference at the equator. According to mainstream historians, the pyramids were tombs for Egyptian pharaohs, kings that were chosen by the gods to serve on Earth and were revered by the entire kingdom. Their deaths were sacred and signified the beginning of the journey into the afterlife. When a king died, his belongings were placed in the tombs with them, so they had them as they moved on to the next life. The tallest and oldest of the 3 pyramids, over Giza, is the Great Pyramid, often referred to as the Pyramid of Khufu. King Khufu, the second king of the 4th dynasty of Egypt, is often credited with designing and constructing the Great Pyramid of Giza. It was the world's largest single building for centuries. Many things are unknown about him, including the length of his reign, and only one full-body depiction of him has been found. If the Great Pyramid of Giza stands as a shrine to King Khufu, why was nobody found inside of it? Surely the elaborate mausoleum of an ancient Egyptian pharaoh would contain art, an ornate coffin, or ancient artifacts. Since the only thing found inside of the pyramid was an empty granite sarcophagus, there are theories that the pyramids were initially used for a completely different purpose, one that would mean that there was once a far more sophisticated civilization that inhabited the area. Legend says that the pyramid shape was so that the pharaoh could ascend to heaven on the sun's rays. The rays were symbolized by its shape, and it has also been said that the shape is a monument to the sun god Ra, who created life. Their location on the west bank of the Nile was chosen because it's under important stars, and the sun in that region was once believed to die each night. Today's society relies on electricity to function. Some people say that Benjamin Franklin discovered it after flying a kite in a thunderstorm. Electricity may have existed on Earth thousands of years before even Benjamin Franklin was alive, and was just waiting to be rediscovered. In depictions of ancient Egyptians, they are walking around carrying torches. Years of torches burning in corridors will leave scorch marks, but none have ever been found in the pyramid's hallways. That's because they didn't use fire, they used electricity. Of course, for them to use electricity, they needed a power source. Whoever designed and built the pyramids was highly intentional. The Great Pyramid of Giza is estimated to be made of 2.5 million stones, weighing 2.5 to 40 tons each. Despite the weight of the stones, each side is within 2 inches of the other, making it almost 99% accurate. For roughly 4,000 years, it was the world's tallest man-made structure. It spans over 13 acres, and its base is leveled with such accuracy that the entire thing is within 3/4 of an inch, something that, in today's technology, would probably be achieved using lasers. However, historians say Egyptians Egyptians used string, granite hammers, copper pickaxes, and chisels. The pyramids at the Giza complex were once encased in white limestone and shimmered in the sunlight. These stones were shipped from 500 miles away, making the decision to use the material very intentional. They were packed so tightly it would be near impossible to see a crack between the stones. Unlike local limestone, this white limestone didn't have any magnesium, which means it's an insulator. Their interior used nummulitic limestone, the blocks that can be seen today. The rose granite was also imported for internal chambers with a high concentration of quartz. This material creates a charge known as piezoelectricity when compressed. In as large of a structure as the pyramid, and at such a high volume, the pyramid would become a massive power plant. Underneath the pyramid are aquifers, underground layers of rock where all the cracks around the stones are filled with water. The water moves through the underground gaps and crevices, which creates sound waves. Those sound waves resonate with the Earth's natural vibration, and that sound is then magnified and converted into energy. Two shafts lead to the Queen's chamber: the northern shaft, where hydrochloric acid has been found, and the southern shaft, where there are remnants of zinc chloride. These two combined chemicals would have generated a chemical reaction inside the Queen's chamber to create a massive amount of hydrogen, traveling through the horizontal chamber of the Grand Gallery. There it would interact to compress the gallery's granite and make electricity and increase conductivity. The hydrogen atoms would gather and form waves synchronized to the sound waves, which would excite the stones and increase the electricity even further. The Earth's natural sound resonance is believed to be an F-sharp chord, or 440 Hz, which can be heard throughout the Great Pyramid. In fact, it would seem that the pyramid's goal is to hit that note, making it a massive acoustic musical instrument, which Christopher Dunn argued. Resonators were found within the Grand Gallery that converted vibration into airborne sound. This would mean that the entire pyramid once generated energy by resonating with the Earth's natural frequency. The ancient Egyptians were great record keepers, but within those records there is hardly any evidence of the pyramid's intended purpose. Instead of them being the ones to build them, as is taught in history classes worldwide, it's more likely that the Egyptians found the pyramids after they had been dormant for centuries. The location of the three pyramids was meticulously planned, leading to the theory that they lined up to where Orion would have been 10,000 years ago, rather than where it is today. The Sphinx originally faced where the constellation of Leo would have been. The Sphinx carries another big clue. On its base there is an erosion that could have only been caused by water. On the edge of the Sahara Desert, a region that's been dry for 5,000 years, and would have been dry when the ancient Egyptians lived there. Rather than build the pyramids and the Sphinx, what if the ancient Egyptians found the complex and repurposed it? They then changed the head of the Sphinx, explaining why its head is so much smaller than its body. No disrespect to my Egyptian friends, but if they made pyramids before, how come they can't make them now? Should be easier now that they have modern tools. The first records of human civilization go back to 4000 BC with Mesopotamia. The modern humans have existed for around 200,000 years. This advanced society might have dominated the planet until it was washed away, only leaving behind a few clues. The Earth relies on power and electricity. Free wireless power for all would make these companies go bust. Back in the day, Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower was foreclosed on, and his structure was knocked down. He was not quiet about his disgust for men who cared more about their profits than they did the well-being of the planet and the people living on it. And it could be that inside the missing boxes of his documents live the secrets to harnessing the Earth's energy for electricity. Those methods could have been through his own experiments, or the framework for his inventions existed thousands of years before he was even born.